welcome back to the hCG Diet Interviews with Everyday People. I have the lovely Cinmayi with me today, and she's going to have some really good info for any of you ladies out there who are vegetarian. And even if you're vegan, you might be able to use some of the principles too, but I do get a lot of questions about that for those of you who eat in a different way like that. How do you make the hCG protocol work? Because, of course, there's two meat proteins, right? So we'll talk with her today about how she did it and just her weight loss journey with hCG as well. So welcome to Mai.
Thank you.
So why don't you give us just your basic stats of like your age and height and your weight loss with hCG and your size change, that sort of thing, just to give people a frame of reference.
Okay, I'm 62 years old, and I first lost about 80 pounds on hCG, and then I kept it off for about 3 years. But then menopause hit, and I got some health problems, and I kind of went all the way back up again. So now I'm on my journey back down, and I've already lost 20 pounds, and this is me.
You look good. You actually look really good. I actually have a hard time picturing you like another 60 pounds less. you know? You're probably really tiny. And I just think that goes to show, when did menopause hit for you?
Oh, let's see, about 2015, like 3 years ago. And really that's when kind of my problems started, when the menopause came.
Yeah.
And then I got arthritis, and I started doing a lot of comfort eating and carbs.
Yeah. I have some chronic health issues myself, and before I found hCG and before I knew what was wrong with me, I kind of had that same process where I wasn't feeling well, and then, like you said, just to kind of deal with all the changes, you start eating comfort food to deal with it because it's enjoyable and it's something you can do that doesn't hurt your knees so. Yeah, well, that's amazing. So the first time you lost 80 pounds, and you kept it off for some years, which is really like 3 years, you said.
Yes.
That's amazing. And it also shows how menopause and health issues, they are a significant thing when it comes to, like, that's something that we all have to deal with. And it's a reality. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know if I asked you this before. The hCG that you did, was it with homeopathic drops or with injections?
I used homeopathic drops.
Gotcha.
I got them from, is it all right to say where I got them?
Sure.
I got them from yourhcg.com.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Yeah. So menopause hit and you gained weight back. Maybe we could just talk about with the 80 pounds that you lost originally. I would love to know, like, do you remember, like, what size you were when you started the diet and where you ended up by chance?
Okay, let's see now. I weighed about 200 pounds, and I guess I don't really know what size I was because I wear saris and things like that, and things don't come in sizes.
Right.
But I was probably about size 20.
Gotcha. So you went from like 200 pounds to like 120-ish then?
Yeah, but that I was after 3 rounds.
Gotcha. Wow.
The first round I got down to about 160. The second round I got down to about 140. And then the third round I got down to about 129. And then I just kept on following the maintenance and didn't go off the maintenance. And then I got down to about 122.
Wow, that's amazing. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
Gotcha. You're a little one, like me. So, wow, that is an amazing journey. And then, and maintenance for you was so successful for that whole time before your health issues hit,
Right.
maybe later we can talk about what types of stuff you ate in maintenance. But why don't we
Okay.
get into like being a vegetarian on phase two? Because that's what I
Okay.
really want to help with ladies on the diet. So the challenge is that you don't eat meat.
Yes.
Now, do you do eggs and dairy or you don't?
I do dairy, but I do not do eggs.
Okay, gotcha. So that means you are I forget, there's a word for it, right?
Yes, it's lacto-vegetarian.
Gotcha, lacto-vegetarian. So you do dairy, but no eggs. Gotcha. Okay.
So no meat, fish, or eggs.
No meat, fish, or eggs. Gotcha. So how did you go about, what foods did you eat then on phase two? Like,
Okay, well, my first round, I the hCG protocol for the Your hCG homeopathic drops, they give suggestions for vegetarians and vegans. So my first protocol, the first time I did it, I used Boca burgers.
okay.
I used I used quinoa, and I used this protein powder called Sun Warrior Protein.
I love that protein powder. I've actually, even though I love that one. Did you use the sprouted fermented one?
Um, oh, I can't remember. I probably
Okay,
did, but
awesome.
it is vegan, and the Boca burgers are vegan too.
Nice. So that's good
Oh,
to
and
know.
of course the quinoa is as well.
Right. So for
Yeah.
vegan or vegetarian, that can work for you. So were those your protein replacements then?
Yes, for the first round, that's what I use for my protein replacements.
Gotcha. Do you happen to recall like how much quinoa you would have had?
Okay, so what I did was I changed the diet a little bit, and I did 500 calories. I did three proteins and one veg. I did, let's see, three proteins at 100 calories each, and I did two vegetables at 50 calories each, and two fruits at 50 calories each.
Oh, great.
So I would figure out the quinoa for 100 calories.
Gotcha. And what I'll do, you guys, is I will calculate that for you later and I'll put it in the show notes.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah.
And it's really good. You can fill it up with like cucumber or whatever vegetable you want to put with it, whatever vegetables on the protocol.
That's great, you guys. So the 500 calories, three proteins. So would you have the three proteins like breakfast, lunch, dinner, spread it out like
Well,
that?
one of my proteins, I use the protein powder, and I split that one for the morning and the afternoon. And I used it because I'm really attached to drinking a hot drink in the morning. So I
Yeah.
used it for my hot drink.
Oh, you put the
In
protein
the
powder
morning,
in your hot drink.
yeah, so what I would do was I would blend the protein powder with just a little bit of water, and then I would make myself a hot drink like coffee or something, and
Yeah.
then I would pour this small smoothie with the protein powder
Yes.
in it, and it would be my creamer.
That is such a clever idea. I love
Because
that.
if you try to just put the protein powder in, it won't mix.
Right. So you blend it with a little water and then add
Yeah,
it.
yes. And
Fantastic.
it doesn't cool off your drink either.
Gotcha. Now, do you use any like sweeteners or anything for that little drink or?
I use stevia, and I love the hazelnut stevia. I buy hazelnut stevia, and then I use that for my coffee.
That sounds so good. Is that like the Sweet Leaf brand?
Yes,
Liquid
but
brown.
there's a brand called Now that is amazing. That has a really good hazelnut stevia.
Okay, we'll link to that in the show notes, you guys. I actually love hazelnut flavor too. I think I'm actually allergic to it though.
Ooh.
Because like the last time I've had like a few times hazelnuts, there was like this strange tickle in my throat and it scared me. So ever since I haven't. Okay, so the liquid stevia, the Now brand, for you guys if you're listening, and so you would have that with your your 50 calorie serving of protein powder, and
Right,
then with a little water, and then into like some coffee or tea.
right. And sometimes you can even have it plain in hot water.
Yeah.
and then it's just like it's a yummy hot drink.
Was your protein powder, like, you know how they have flavors and stuff? Was it the unflavored or the vanilla or the chocolate?
I always would buy the vanilla, but I had the chocolate just in case. I didn't use it that much though.
Gotcha. Yeah, the vanilla does sound like for that application really good. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, you know, even if we didn't talk anymore, like the whole interview would be worth it just for that tip. That's fantastic.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
yeah, that's great. So you guys, we will have all of this in the show notes, like written out, so that if you're wanting to follow, like a protocol, you can totally use Chinmayi's. That's such a great way to do it. It's something specific, which is nice. I'm curious with the quinoa. Now, some people feel like it's a challenge to make quinoa like taste good. Maybe it isn't to you, but would you share possibly some of the spices or just some of the ways you prepare it to make it taste good to you?
You know what? I don't like quinoa. I didn't never used it very much.
Gotcha.
The thing that I really used a lot when I came on your blog, I started using the non-fat Greek yogurt, which was amazing. But
Gotcha.
I guess what you can do with quinoa, I mean, I would always just cook it plain, and I love to use hot sauce on it, like the Frank's hot sauce
Okay.
or oh, Tio Tapa, or I can't forget.
Yes. Yes, like
Tapu,
the Mexican
yeah,
tapatio sauce or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Gotcha. That sounds good. Very cool. Okay, so that was your first round, the Boca burgers, the quinoa, and the protein powder, and then so it sounds like on subsequent rounds you involved other proteins. Do you want to share those?
Right. Yes. I love the non-fat Greek yogurt. Love it. And all my rounds afterwards, I've used the non-fat Greek yogurt,
Okay.
and I also use the J Rob protein powder.
Okay.
Have you ever tried that? I don't know,
Is
but
it their whey protein?
yeah, whey
Okay.
protein. So those are non-vegan
Right.
alternatives, but
Right. So
and
they're
but I really got good results with the non-fat Greek yogurt. I really like that a lot.
great. So like on rounds 2 and/or 3, like how often would you say, so would you do the 100 calories still worth of the yogurt?
That's right. I just figure out from the nutrition information how much is 100 calories, and then I would do that.
And again, you
So
guys will, I'll actually calculate that so you'll know. You can be like, oh, half cup or 1 cup or whatever. So cool. And how often, yeah, would you say you had that for your protein on a round?
so I had well, what I would do was in the morning I'd drink my coffee and my half a protein. Then at about noon or 1 o'clock, I would eat an apple. And then later on, like maybe 1 o'clock, I would have a protein and a vegetable. And then like at about 4 o'clock, I have my second drink, like hot drink with some protein powder in it, just to kind of get me until 7 o'clock or so. And then I'd have dinner, which would be some vegetable. And I always ate the miracle noodles every day too. And I got that
Oh,
idea from you as well.
great. That's great. So you used the miracle noodles and it was fine with your weight loss?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And I pretty much also when I'd be doing the diet, I'd pretty much always eat at the same time every day, so that if I ever started freaking out and thinking I was hungry, I'd be like, it's okay, you're going to eat it at 1 o'clock, you're going to eat at 3 o'clock, and then you're going to have something at 7. Just to keep my mind from getting too worried.
Anxious. Yes. No, that's actually a really smart mental approach because, like you said, then you don't have to start, yeah, feeling like when I can't eat for a long time. Like you always have a plan and everything is fairly consistent. Like you said, you can look forward to your drink, and
Yes.
that's awesome. That's great. With the miracle noodles, I'm curious, just because I have an article on this for you guys. I'll put it in the show note links. I have a whole article all about miracle noodles, and
Oh,
so that you guys can read about that and decide if you want to utilize them on P2. They have no calories, They're basically like eating fiber, but they really help fill you up, and especially in soups, they're really good. But when you first started using them, did you have like just an initial gain or stall at all, or no?
Not at all.
Oh,
Not at
cool.
all.
That's good. So I wanted to tell you guys out there listening, that may happen. You may, when you first start using Miracle Noodles, you might see like a small gain on the scale or like not lose weight for a day. But I wanted to point out that it's not because like it's not working or what it is the Miracle Noodles, they absorb a ton of water. So it's like a lot of volume and heaviness in your intestines. So when you add that in all of a sudden, it's just extra bulk in your intestines that might initially make that happen for a day. But then after that, you should be golden and it would be fine. So I just want to explain that. So anyway, but that's cool that that didn't happen for you. So. So with these later rounds with the Greek yogurt, would you have like Greek yogurt for both proteins essentially, like for lunch and
Yep,
dinner?
for both of my proteins.
Or?
Yep.
Gotcha. On a daily basis. How would you prepare the Greek yogurt with your vegetables? Like what kinds of meals would you eat?
Well, you know what? I'm not a real big recipe person, and I
Sure.
usually spend my time on the hCG diet, just eating super simple. And I'm not. I'm afraid you won't be able to get very many recipe ideas
That's
from me.
fine. That's okay.
I, I tell you though, I love the stir flavors. Have you ever tried those?
Yes, we use them even now. Yep.
The black cherry flavor tastes really good on the Greek yogurt.
Ooh, that sounds great.
And it's it's great with cinnamon and stevia, with apple cinnamon and stevia. I've had it just absolutely plain with nothing but just dipping carrots in it with salt.
Nice.
So I
That's
can't give you any recipes.
No, that's okay. No, you don't have to do recipes. I was just curious how you ate it. Like if you ate it with vegetables, like I was
Oh,
picturing, like do you have yogurt with cucumber? Like do you add salt or vinegar or?
I have made like stir fry, but no oil. Cabbage with the miracle noodles, and then I've put the yogurt on it and it made like a sauce.
Oh,
And
nice.
and then also I have made like a salad dressing out of it and used it on lettuce.
Yes, that's a great. In fact, actually, you guys, I did that myself on a couple of my rounds. Even though I was eating meat, I would have like I let myself have a very small amount of fat-free Greek yogurt, and I would use it like as a dressing with a little vinegar and salt. And I actually did that almost every day. It was so good.
Yeah, it's really good and it's very filling and
Yeah.
it's
That's
yummy.
great. That is fantastic. Well, when you mentioned the word carrots, that made me think to ask you what vegetables you ate on P2.
Well, I didn't eat carrots.
Okay, so that's more in later life. Okay, I was like, wow, did you have carrots?
I ate celery, lettuce, cabbage, celery, lettuce, cabbage, celery, lettuce,
Did you
cabbage.
do
I did.
cucumber?
Oh yes, I ate cucumber sometimes.
Okay,
I think I ate cabbage every day. I happen to really like it. And
awesome.
I like to just cook it a little bit and then put it in the blender and make it smooth and then cook it some more and make hot cabbage soup. And
That's fantastic.
I find that really satisfying to eat, some hot soup. And all it
Yes.
is cabbage and water, and then I just put salt, pepper, and whatever. I don't use garlic. I use this spice called hing, Hing, and it's from India, and it tastes kind of like garlic, but it's not garlic.
Wow, I
So
wonder what's in it. Do you know?
it's a resin from a tree called asafoetida, and
Oh,
and they use it a lot in Eastern cooking. So if you
yeah.
go to, you'd have to get it at an Indian store, but it's not. You have to get a certain type to use on the hCG phase 2 protocol, and I can get that certain type, but I don't know how to tell you how to get it. But
Is it because some have fillers or something, or?
yes, it has a filler. it has a filler of wheat powder. And then the type
Oh.
that I get has a filler of coriander powder.
Oh, I love coriander.
You can get it on this website called uncleharrys.com.
Okay, Uncle Harry's
Uncleharrys.com.
dot
And
com.
he has the grain-free hing, Hing.
Grain free. I was just looking it up on Google, I mean on Amazon to see if they had any like grain-free ones. I'll have to look later. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you shared this. I love exploring other spices and things that, are not as familiar.
Well, salt, pepper, and hing is a great mixture of spices, and it can be used in everything. And you don't need anything else, or except for maybe some turmeric.
I love turmeric too. Awesome. How much of the hing would you put in like a bowl of soup for yourself? Like a teaspoon or
It's really strong, so you just need a pinch.
Oh, okay. See,
It's
well, I'm
very,
glad I asked.
yeah, it's very strong. It's very strong smelling.
Gotcha. I might have to use this inspiration from you if you don't mind, because
I,
as some of you guys may know, we now have the hcgchicarecipes.com site with P2 recipes, and we're gradually adding to it. We'll have hundreds there by the time we're done. You can go there now. All of the recipes. Right now they're free. Later, once I'm done with the project, you'll be able to do like a one-time price and then have access to all of them. But um, we keep trying to like have a variety of spices used and just different flavor profiles for the food. And I love the cabbage soup idea. Honestly, I've actually never made that.
oh, it's good. Well, when you're not on P2, it's also amazing with broccoli. You just
Awesome.
you just steam it a little bit and then you put it in the blender and then cook it. And then you can add cheese or you can add, whatever, butter but even if you just have plain, it's just amazing. So good.
That sounds great. No, we're gonna have to come up with a recipe for that on the site, you guys. That's a good
Yeah,
idea. Especially in winter, you know. Right now we have like a couple feet of snow outside, and it's like that's the perfect thing to have.
right.
Those are great tips. Thank you. We will have the hing grain-free spice in the show note link. So, and I love coriander too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Not a lot of people know this. This is just a totally random fact, but coriander is from cilantro. Did you guys know that?
Get it what?
That it's from cilantro, like the herb cilantro.
Yeah.
In tons of Mexican food, we grow cilantro, but what happens is when you let cilantro go to seed, like you just don't pick it, and it gets all these little balls on the top, and it dries out, and that's coriander. We collected some this year from our garden, and it's like this is so cool. Anyway, okay, so you would do about 50 calories worth of your vegetable then.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And so about how much weight would you lose on these different rounds that you've done? Do you recall?
I
And
think
how long were your rounds? Sorry.
okay, well, let's see. The first round I did 21 days. I never went past 21 days.
Gotcha. Okay.
I didn't start going past 21 days until maybe the last four rounds.
Okay.
And then I went to 30 days. But I think pretty on the average, I would lose 20 pounds a round.
Gotcha. 20 pounds. Very cool. That's great. So that really worked well for you. This vegetarian protocol, like it worked well. 'Cause since I haven't done that, when I get the question, I never know really what to suggest or to say. So that's
Yeah,
so useful. And then that you've had those good weight loss results, and especially that you maintained for 3 years after your first three vegetarian rounds. To me, that speaks volumes. Like, okay, that did work because the long term is there.
right.
That's fantastic. Well, good. Yeah, so we'll have all of that for you guys. I'm trying to think what else I want to ask you.
I would drink a lot of green tea on my rounds, and I would use that stir flavoring in my green tea too.
Oh,
So like
yes.
black cherry green tea or tangerine green tea. It was really nice.
That
I
sounds
love
amazing.
that flavoring is really good.
It is. Yeah, I'll link to that too, you guys. You can on Amazon they have like it's like a 5 pack of like 5 different flavors of the stir. There's stevia sweeteners. But like you said, they have just like the fruity flavor that's pretty strong and it's really good. So helps keep you sane. Well, how about we talk a little bit about maintenance then for the 3 years that you were maintaining? Um, what helped you maintain? Like what? How did you eat? Like did you track calories at all, or eat to hunger, or what?
Let's see. Well, I pretty much stayed away from grains and sugar, even though, even although I was on after the protocol.
Sure.
I relied a lot on, like, I never ate bread again, and
Gotcha.
I relied a lot on nuts, sunflower seeds, dairy, um, the regular vegetables. I used to eat like dal and rice and things like that, but I stopped eating rice.
Gotcha.
And
Was that hard at all? Like, I don't know, what type of family you have or even socially or whatnot. Was it challenging to kind of remove basic staples like that, like you said?
sometimes it was. At that time, it wasn't. I was able to manage. But afterwards, I guess maybe that's why I put on weight, because of family commitments and traveling and stuff. And
Yeah,
I was in places where I had to just eat what was provided, and
right.
I was hungry.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
And then I had some personal issues. Like, I was in California, and I was involved in a fire. There was a big fire, and it burnt down all my dwelling, and I got rid of all, it burned all my things, and so the place where I was staying, so I spent a good month eating after that.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. What a tragedy. Was it? I think I heard about that.
Yeah, I was living up in Northern California with my son and his wife, and the place where we stayed in the forest, and there was a forest fire, and everything burned down.
Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
I think I put on about 30 pounds in 2 months after that, because I don't know, I just did a lot of comfort eating.
Right. Oh my goodness. So now you've had a little processing time and you're like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm ready to.
yeah, I'm ready to get back together now.
I
Yeah,
have a house that I'm living in that's not burnt down.
yeah, yeah,
Can you imagine? Wow, that's
yeah.
okay. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's just, oh, you lost everything, like all your belongings and stuff, and
But I'm here,
yeah,
so that doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters because we lived through it, and
yeah,
but it did stress me out.
sure, yeah. And even being stressed, honestly, can cause weight gain, like with cortisol levels being raised when you're really stressed out.
Yeah,
It's like even eating the same food that you usually eat, you can gain weight.
right.
And sleep too. I mean, I don't know, you guys, I'll just share this, just my own little personal experience. I try to have a good sleep schedule. And I eat pretty much the same every day. I've been maintaining for 5 years, but every now and then I'll stay up really late doing work stuff and I can tell like I'll the same food I'm eating like won't like I'll feel like I'm gaining a little bit on the scale. Like if I have a couple days of staying up till 2 in the morning or something, and not getting enough sleep, it's crazy. That does make a big difference in maintaining, I feel like. So
I have noticed that on P2, if you don't get enough sleep, you'll stall.
yes. No, that's such a good point. In fact, I think that's one of the most I don't know what the word is, underrated, like unknown big factor in weight loss and P2. I agree with you. In fact, I have a whole post on that, you guys, about sleeping on hCG, so I'll link to that. You might want to read it because I even quote it's a very small medical study, but it was significant because they actually tracked a couple groups of people. It was about weight loss and sleep. And it was unrelated to hCG, but the principle I feel is there. So one group of people slept, I think, 8 hours a night, and they were eating a certain diet for weight loss. And the other group was on the same diet for weight loss, but they only slept 5 hours a night. And what was interesting was they did body fat testing of their weight loss at the end. And the group who slept 5 hours a night, their actual total weight loss was pretty much the same, but how much of that weight loss was fat versus muscle was very different.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the group who only slept 5 hours a night, it was like I can't remember the details. It's in the post, but like 50% of their weight loss was actually muscle and not fat. And the group that slept
Wow.
8 hours a night, much more of their weight loss was fat. It was a significant difference. So that just speaks the volumes there that, you guys, you want your weight loss to really be fat. If you're losing muscle, it's not really, it's not benefiting you too much. So anyway, I just thought I would share that because since you mentioned that. Yeah.
Right.
So, oh, I love your top. I just noticed it more
It's
now
just
that
a,
the lighting's different. Is that a sari right now or?
no, I'm actually wearing a sari, but this is just my sweater.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love just different patterns like that.
Yeah, I pinned it up here, but
I love that. That's awesome. All right. Well, very good. So, do you have any? I'm trying to think if there's any other just tips or just different things that you feel are important to doing well on the hCG protocol itself.
well, the things that helped me was I kept track of everything. Like I told you, I would do the 500 calories. I do 100, 300 calories would be my protein, and 200 calories would be my fruit and vegetables. And then I would, weigh. I used to weigh and measure everything, and then I'd keep it in a book, and then how many pounds I lost every day, and then I have all these diaries, and I can go back to them and see, oh
Nice.
yeah, on the 15th day I stalled, on this, or by this time I lost this much weight. It really helps you when you do future rounds to have your journals of the other rounds that you did.
I appreciate that you said that. I agree. I feel like sometimes when I'm in the middle of something and something noteworthy happened or whatnot, I feel like I'll remember it and I don't later. It's like,
And you really want to know, like if you've done more than one round, you really want to know, like, oh, where was I on this day in my
yeah,
previous round?
yeah,
And it helps a lot. Also, your hunger will go up and down, and sometimes you'll feel really desperately hungry, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. And somehow, when you get to that point, the next day, I would have lost like 2 pounds. Like, I don't know, somehow,
yeah.
whenever I'd feel the most desperate, then I would have lost weight.
I love that you shared that. Yeah, no, I have had that same experience. It is true, you guys. Yeah, there's something. I remember the same thing one time where you're just like you said, you're kind of hitting the wall where you're like really struggling, and maybe weight loss has been a little slow for a couple of days, and but then yeah, then there's like this huge surprise the next day if you stick it out. Like
Yeah.
what?
And also, if you keep your water up, if you really make it a point, I would also keep on my journal how many glasses of water I had. If you really keep your water up,
Gotcha.
if you hit a stall, and then you really make sure to drink a lot of next water the next day, you'll break your stall.
That's great. How much water a day would you usually try to drink?
Um, no, I don't think I could make it up to a gallon, but probably about a half a gallon.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Yeah, that's really cool. And like since you mentioned tracking, some of you guys may know this, but if you don't, I do have a workbook that you can use to track your program if you want. It's at hcgchica.com/workbook. That's the digital version that you can download and print. You can also actually fill it out on your device with a third-party app. It's not an app itself, but you can open the PDF in an app on your phone and actually fill it in. Or there's also the actual like hard copy book version that's on Amazon. You could just search HCG Diet Workbook on there and it'll pop right up. The one with that, of course, is that it's a one-time use in that case because it's an actual book you're writing in. But you can do that if you like. Or the digital version, of course, you can use over and over. So that's kind of the better deal. But anyway, but yeah, it is really good. It's fun. Like I'm glad now I did 5 rounds total, and it is fun, like you said, to be able to look back and kind of see what happened with each round. So yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for talking with me today. These were really, really helpful, tips, especially for being vegetarian too. I think that gives just like a really structured framework that people could try following.
Good. I appreciate it. I love to help you. Thank you. I got a lot of help from you too.
Really? Aw, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chinmayi. And yeah, you guys, again, all of the stuff we talked about will be in detail in the article that goes with this interview. So we'll definitely get all the links and the amounts of things for you, and that'll be really useful. So, all right. Well, you have a good rest of your day.
You do the same there.